Hello, hello. How's everyone today? Spring outside. It's snowing and it's freezing. How's everyone doing? I hope you can all hear me. We have a few people in the chat already. Please show yourselves and say hello. Who's here? Stephen James. Hello, Stephen. How are you? You've asked the question as well. Oh, there we go. Jay, you can hear. Great. I can hear myself as well. It's very pleasant sometimes. Let's see who else is here. Anyone else? Anyone else? There we go. Hello. Hello, hello. Fantastic. So, I want to start today on a very slightly different note, a positive one. I have for you a couple of um, Discord invites. Two of the Discord servers where I participate, and there are quite a few people from all sorts of 3D disciplines and communities, and I'm going to share two of them. So I'm going to do this on screen and in the chat. And in order to do that, I need to go to the comment section. And first of all, I'm going to give you I'm going to do this. So one is called Pixel Fondue. There we go. Hello, Sharon. There we go. Good. That's I can't paste two lines, so I can't edit it now. Anyway, I'm gonna give the link separately one more time. I'm gonna post it as an image as well for anyone that wants to type it in, because why not? This is for Pixel Fondue, and the other one is for 3D community. And we do have some members of the 3D community here with us today. Please identify yourselves. Fantastic. So one more link, and that is for 3D community. And these are links that, as far as I know, are not going to expire anytime soon. But please come and join at least these two communities. And as we move forwards, I'm going to share more places where you can reach out to fellow artists and myself. There we go. So Madame Sharon Palkowitz, as they would say here in French-speaking Canada, is part of the 3D community as well. So yeah, there we go. Okay. The topic today. So this is actually an interesting question. Hello, Dean. Now, I think right now the latest quick tip. I did an experiment. I'm doing experiments, and you are the subjects. I'm sorry. So I posted a quick tip that was inspired by this girl. All right, and thank you again, Sharon, for allowing me to to show the stuff, and more people will benefit from this. Hopefully, I do. I feel so invigorated after solving that problem. So if I benefit, I do not care about anyone else. So if you check out today's quick tip, which is not so quick tip, I think it's just under 15 minutes. So this is you are very welcome, Sharon. More than my pleasure. And it's about the subject we're going to talk about today. So what I want to do is see if, under certain circumstances, number one, I can have longer quick tips that have a number of tips. Like last time we had the quick tip inception and tip on a tip. This one is a workflow to solve a very specific problem. What I like about these kind of problems is that not only you can solve for this particular thing, it may be a narrow application of what we are trying to do, of a technique, but it opens the door for me to introduce things that I may never have thought of introducing under any other circumstances. So that is a benefit with these kind of things. If you enjoy the longer quick tips, I will throw some of these in the mix whenever the occasion arises. But overall, I want to know if if it's too long for people to watch. I want to measure the viewership as well. then what I will do is stick to the very short form quick tips up to 4, maybe 5 minutes, and then introduce probably a new section because I am preparing some other tutorials for YouTube directly on the training YouTube, Max on Training Team YouTube channel. Yeah, quite a few words there. Okay, so let's see. Let me show you. So today we're going to focus on the same topic as the quick tip because I'm going to add a few things. So you'll be able to tackle even a wider range of situations like this. Okay, now let me share. I need to share a screen, which means I need to go over here. There we go. So this is what you're seeing, and thank you again, Sharon, for allowing me to share this model. The idea, this is a model which I assume it's similar to product models that you are given from time to time. This is some sort of fitness thing. The problem, so to speak, with these kind of models is that they are already modeled in place. And in this particular case, the model came from TurboSquid, according to Sharon. There we go. So what we have here is a case. What we have here, sorry, that was the doodle. This is a case of us wanting to undeform the strap. And on first glance, this may appear to be an easy problem to solve, uh, but it's not. And you may be inclined to say, well, I can get let me get some sort of deformer and deform it, put it there, and then open it. You can't really do that, and that's because the deformer, once applied, it doesn't have a reset. Let's assume that the deformer is here. Okay, the moment I apply it to the bracelet, I can hide the other thing. It's going to just apply this to the bracelet. There is no mode inside a deformer to say, um, accept this as the initial state, and now let's go and undeform it. Now, having said that, that's actually not a bad idea, but it's not something we can do right now. So this is going to fail. Now, let me throw away this part. The technique hinges upon a different kind of deformation, which employs the mesh deformer. And here is the theory. So this is a different model than the one I used for the quick tip because it has certain characteristics which are different. The first being that these are not going to be open flat that way, right? That's not how the strap is going to open. The strap is going to be something like this. And number two, it's all one model. So whereas the one you will see in the quick tip is a separate strap. So let's see how we can tackle this. So we're going to start with the top part. And the easiest thing we can do is isolate it from the rest of the model. So we only have to deal with that part. And again, the simplest way is go do some sort of loop selection. Let's go here. You can see this loop selection. I'm going to keep everything up to this point the same. And I'm just going to stretch it open from this point outwards. Just to let you know, this is what we're going to do. This is the final, and it employs mesh and employs various things that look rather weird in this sort of situation. But this is what we are going to try and achieve. Yeah, so let's go back to this one here. So I'm going to go and in my select menu, a very useful menu, I'm going to go and fill the selection. And now because I have that loop selection around there, I can fill this island. This is similar to the bucket fill in Photoshop and all that. There you go. So this is the portion I want to work on. Now, if for any reason you want to retain this bit as well, you just shift fill and it retains this as well. If you don't press shift, it will just select everything that's inside here if it's an island. So I think I'm good. I'm good with this. So let's just invert the selection. So select, invert the selection. Let's hide everything. So I'm going to hide the selected. And that was polygon. So I hid all the polygons. Now, one more thing you need to make sure when you are working with models you find elsewhere, make sure you know what scaling you are working for. And someone asked the question, sorry, I saw something. Is 3D community not a link? Did I not? No, it's the one underneath. So I pasted the name, 3D community, and then I pasted right underneath the code. Okay, good. So where was I? If you select this object, let's go to model mode and go to coordinates, you will see that by design, this model was scaled. And if you want to make sure that you won't have any issues when you create objects and you can create a cube and it's going to be 200 by 200 by 200 and stuff like that, and maybe it appears to be bigger than it is and all that, just make sure that the models you have are at the proper scale. And the easiest way to do this is to select your object and go to tools, and in the axes, right here at the bottom, it's got the reset scale. Now, don't do that yet. Go to the cogwheel and make sure that compensate points is on. What this is going to do is make sure that your the whole scene is going to the object you have selected, sorry, is going to have this reset to 111, but the shape won't change. It won't become bigger. Because if I go here and set it to 111, it's going to become quite huge, right? It was right there, and then it became the other thing. So that's why we're going to use this axis reset scale, compensate points. So it's exactly the same, but now everything has been reset. Fantastic. So I am repeating what I said in the quick tip, but I'm going to do it in the context of this model so that you can expand and I can put in more details in the technique, just in case something was missed. And I do have quite a few things added to this. Okay, now what I want to do here, yeah, Dean Mellis, this reset scale thing is something I wish I knew a long time ago. Indeed, it's one of those extremely helpful things. And hopefully we're going to see more of these helpful things in this video. So here's what we are going to do. I'm going to create a object of a known size. So, and that object is going to be, let's say this cube, all right? And I want the length of this cube to be approximately similar, but not exactly. It doesn't really matter. The length of this. And let's say I have this cube here, and I'm subdividing in the Z. We're going to add more detail later on. I'm going to make a version of this, which, for example, let's put a bend deformer here and make it 555, just because that's the number I thought of. And let me just, yeah, I'm going to put it this way. There we go. Come on, come on. That way, 90. And if you are curious where it bends, it's the long thing bending towards the short thing. So this needs to rotate the other way around. So that's plus 90. And what else does it need to do? Well, it needs to rotate this way. There you go. And always, I like to do a keep length. So again, just kind of imagine this. Oh, the other shortcut I'm going to teach you today is the Alt and drag goes a tenth of whatever. So just so that you know, when you drag something and it goes left or right by 1 unit with each pixel, that's because the person that designed the interface set this. If you go to, not layers, if you go to the user data and add user data, there's this step. This step indicates how much your number is going to change when you click and drag left and right. Okay, so here it's 1. So if I go here, you'll see it goes up by 1. But if I set this to 0.001, then the dragging goes up by 0.001. So that is the step increment. So I don't want this. If you press Alt, that goes 1/10 of the step. So I can do very small adjustments. If I press Shift, it goes 10 times. right? So you have that. Besides the fact that you can point your cursor here and go with your arrows up and down. And if you're on the right of a number, it goes with the number that comes after that. So here it will go up and down by tenths. If I move it one to the right, it's going to go by hundredths. If I move it one to the right, by thousandths. If I go here, it's going to go up by units. Go to the left, add a unit, go here by tenths, and so forth. Okay, so where was I? A lot of tangents today. So let's do this and let's do that. So what my attempt is going to be, and this encapsulates the whole method, is I'm going to create an object that encapsulates the full um, geometry of the strap. And then I'm going to use that model with a mesh deformer, and I'm going to morph into the open version. And what that's going to do is it's going to deform, so to speak, from this C-shaped object into something that resembles a flatter object. Okay, so that is the overall technique, which took me 15 minutes to show in the quick tip, and I'm going to spend an hour on this today, but I think that it's going to be worth it. So let's prepare a few things. I'm not going to. Shall I use this cube? Maybe. So let me get rid of the bend. I'm not going to use a bend. I'm going to use something else. So I want to describe this object um, as best as possible. The closest you go to the object itself, the geometry, the better the undeform is going to work. So in this version, you can see there are some minor kinks. We have a little kink here. You can see it's a bit bulgy. You can go and fix that by hand, but otherwise it looks quite good. Now I have some versions of this. Look at this. This is a bit more bumpy. Again, it will take you a few minutes to fix, but the difference between this and this in terms of fidelity is because for this version, I just used an elongated cube, whereas for this version here, I actually used an object I sculpted to be, and I want the curved version. So this is let me show you that version. There you go. And boop, boop. I made sure that the object I undeformed this, I took that cube and I sculpted it to be closer to the geometry. If you do that, then the undeform operation is going to yield a much higher quality mesh without those kinks. So yeah, and this information is not part of the quick tip because it's sort of the weeds, but I think it's important. That's why I wanted to repeat the subject in today's show. Okay, so we are here. Now let's go and do those things. Now, first of all, what would be the easiest way to deform this to kind of match this the shape of this? And you can always eyeball it or draw a spline or something like that. I like to reuse any information that is provided to me by a model. So what I'm going to do here, and I'm using a similar technique to the quick tip, just a few adjustments. I'm going to find a continuous set of data, which is this line back here, this like a spine, it's right in the middle, that goes all the way around here. Okay, I'm going to use that. Now, I can't directly select everything because we have the holes here. In other situations, this may be easier to do. So I'm just going to I'm going to click with my edge tool. Then I'm going to do Control Shift click to do a loop. Just in case you didn't know, if you select something and you go somewhere else and you press Control Shift click, it does a path selection from that point to this point. So let's do this. So Shift Control, go here, then Shift to add these two. I just have to go and do two at a time, and it will only take me less than 30 seconds. And while I'm doing it, you could try talking to someone and doing these things. Once you can disassociate the part of your brain that speaks that talks with the part of your brain that allows you to do modeling, you're going to have a lot of fun and some very interesting conversations with people. And I say that in the most sarcastic way possible. Okay, so there we go. I've selected this. Now, the magical command, if anyone doesn't know this, you should be ashamed of yourselves. I need a bell. I need that meme with the shame. Right. Go here and do edge to spline. Okay. No, I'm just joking. Who didn't know about edge to spline, where you can actually get a spline made of those edges? Can you post whoever didn't know that? And I promise, I'm not promising, just trying to entrap you now. If anyone didn't know this, okay. So now I have that spline. Let me turn off this cube because it's a bit annoying. Now, of course, this has all these gaps. So let's go quickly and fill them and give you another a personal Noseman tip. What I hate to do is, let's say I've got a rectangle selection, right? I select these two, I right click and I go down here and I say join segment. And then I click and I right click and I go join segment. And I find this extremely annoying. There's too many right clicks and going down here and all that. And I hate that. So here's what I like to do when I'm about to do a repetitive operation. I press Shift C. I type join segment. See, I already did that. So you don't have to see me type join segment. Oh, I just got you to watch me type. Anyway, drag it from here onto your interface and you can just click outside. So it's here. From this point onwards, all you have to do is go boop, boop. And I like moving things close to that because, I'm turning 60 in a couple of months. I don't have a lot of time left to deal with moving my mouse. Imagine if it's here. If I do this and go all the way here, how much time am I losing? No, that's why we're going to save milliseconds with every click. Even if it takes me 3 days to save a millisecond with each click, I'm going to do that, which is a paradox because it's totally insane. But nonetheless, I just like to do these kind of things. Hey, maybe I should have dragged it here. Let me undo 20 times and do it again. I'm joking. Of course, I'm joking. Okay. So the great thing about this spline now is that to a very good degree, it represents the shape, the curvature we want. There it is. Look at that. We got all this nice little curvature. So um, let's go and do something, right? So first of all, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to extend this so that it encapsulates this little bit as well, because now we only have, let's say, from here all the way to here. Now, you may be inclined to, and get the move tool to do this, you may be inclined to, if I press Control, it's going to add a point to the end, right? So I've got the move tool, I've got a point selected. If I press Control, it's going to add a point. If I press, when I'm on the spline, it's going to add it here. But if I press Control Shift, it's going to create a point at the beginning of the spline, just in case you didn't know that. Now, you may be inclined to add it here. No, because I assume that the geometry, once it's straight, let's assume it's nice and straight here, right? It's straighted out perfectly. This little thing should be at an angle because that's how the other strap comes in here. Okay, so don't don't draw the line this way because when we straighten it out, it's going to bend this downwards. We do not want that. Now, if that is the design, this is my assessment of this particular model. Um, and you just drag. Oh, I don't know if you knew that. If you select a point and you click and drag, you move it, right? Then you go to another point, you select the other point, and then you move it. That is a click and then a drag, and a click and a drag. No, no. If nothing is selected, you can just tweak, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. How many milliseconds I'm going to save with this? So I want to make this tangential to this. There you go. So it looks like it's continuation. There you go. That's what I want to do. And make sure, I'm eyeballing it here. Imagine um, we're going to encapsulate this. It's going to be some weird cube. I want to make sure that, this goes that way, that I'm encapsulating the whole thing. Fantastic. Good. So that is my spline. I just want to make sure that all the points, select all the points of the spline. You can hide things if you make sure you go to your coordinates manager. If it's select this for a second. Oh, where's the axes? Right. You can see the axes for some reason is somewhere. Whatever. Oh, I need the move tool. So it's somewhere here. I don't want that. So just go to the tools, make sure that everything is nice and centered, and you can just say center axis 2. That's it. Just to bring everything within the context and the frame you have here. Now, you can see that you can see that it appears to be, you know, on a 2D plane. Look at the coordinates here. So let's assume a point was outside that. If I select all the points, you will see that in the x-axis, it's not 0. That means it's not flat. So you can use these cues. You can use the cues to inform you about how this spline, if it's correct, if it's on the correct plane, and so forth. So this is my bracelet spline, and this is going to allow me to bend whatever I'm doing. Now, another little trick I was showing in the quick tip, I'm going to show it again just in case that's the only thing you want, is how do we find out how long this is? Because one of the things that is important is when I create this cube and when I flatten this, I don't want this to be some sort of longer or shorter than it is. I want to make sure that when it's flat, it's at least very close to the proper dimension so that I can just go and do some little fixes. So the way to do this is you take your spline, and to measure the length of a spline, we add, maybe there's something, a tool, there's an information thing. I don't even know. Let me try info before. Polygons, objects, memory, points. No. Let's select all the points. No. I'm not getting the information. So let's go and do it using Espresso. Programming tags Espresso. And you need to go and search for spline, right, which you can see it here, and result, because I'm going to get a number. Now, the spline node, you need to feed it an object, and the object is a spline. So drag the spline here, output the object, and connect it up. So now this is evaluating this spline. And one of the things you find here is the length. So you can do a nice trick. So the length of this spline is 10.591. And here's a trick that no one thought about. You can use nulls as temporary memory holders. And that happens, it's very useful for people of a certain age that forget what numbers are. So this is my the size, which means that I want to have my cube approximately that size. So I can go here, I can copy this and go here and put it in the Z because that's the direction I'm going to do. There you go. So this cube here approximates the length of the spline. So we're going to be, within a range of this. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be, close enough that will allow us to do maybe small adjustments without too much fuss. Okie doke. Okay, let's continue here. Now I do want a couple more, maybe in the height 1, and let's add 3 over here. I think that's good enough. Although, in theory, the more you add, you may get a better compliance here. So we're going to change that if we need later on. So I've got my bracelet spline, I've got everything going on. So what do I need to do now? Now I need to create a version of this cube that complies to this shape. So I'm going to call this cube strugged. Oh my God. Straight. I could have said cube S and cube R or cube C for curved. Anyhow, I'm going to make a copy of this and say cube curved. And I'm going to use a magical deformer called the spline wrap. And I'm going to show you something, spline wrap. And you can see, first of all, that we have an arrow here. The spline wrap immediately applies an arrow with a default of plus X. Obviously, this is a Z or a minus Z. We don't know exactly which way the spline is going. And again, we can find out seeing the using the colors. There are ways to if anyone has been paying attention, splines start from white color and have a gradient all the way to blue color. So this would be a counterclockwise spline. So always remember that the orientation of the spline. So this is 0, and the last one is point whatever. Just remember that. But I'm going to teach you a method that allows you to see if your orientation is correct. So in the spline wrap, let's go and drag the spline, and you can see. Now you would say, why? Who cares about the orientation? Well, something that I didn't show in the quick tip is that the result was actually inverted. That's not a problem. You can always go and invert the coordinates, and it was a mirror image of the object. And the reason that happened was that the spline is oriented either clockwise or counterclockwise, but I'm not sure how that affects the winding of the strap as well. And I'm going to show you what I mean here. So temporarily, let's remember that we have the plus Z. So I go to my temporary memory and type plus Z. And what I'm going to do is make both this, I'm going to make this editable, right? I'm going to make it editable. I'm going to turn this off. So I'm going to make that invisible. I'm going to go to the polygons, and I'm going to say, well, my expectation is that these polygons here are going to map to these polygons here. Okay, so let's see if that's the case. I'm going to select these polygons. I'm going to go and create a material. Double click here. And in case you didn't know it, if you take this and you drop it on a selection, it will create both the selection and apply the material on the selection. That's quite quick. Let's make this red. There you go. So we can see now I've marked these polygons. When I deform this, you can see they're on the other side. And not only that, I want to twist. Let's close this. I want to twist this so that this is on top. So now that I have my visual indicator, I need to fix a few things. Go to your spline wrap, and in your spline wrap, go to the rotation. And you can see in rotation, you can bank it. So I want to bank it this way, and that will be 90 of whatever way. That's a minus way, so it's minus 90. And I want this to be on the other side. So instead of plus Z, it's minus Z. So now I know that this complies to what I wanted to do earlier, as long as I have minus Z and minus 90. And so the correct is minus Z and minus 90. That's all I have to do. Now I can go and I can bring back my old cube here, the one that wasn't editable, but we are going to make these editable anyway. I just wanted to, just do that because we know that the topology is what it is. Now, the other thing now I want to do is make sure that my bracelet is fully enclosed inside this cube thing. Now, I can also always go and make this a bit bigger. So I can press my Alt key and do that, make it a bit bigger and so forth. There's another way as well. So let's go to the side view. I'm going to have to do modifications here to incorporate this and so forth. You can see that I have my bracelet in here and I have my cube out here. If you want to adjust how this, how the spline wrap wraps the cube, because the spline is on the top of the bracelet, but it's in the middle of the cube. You can go actually to the spline wrap, which has so many controls. You can go to the bounding box, and you can play around with the bounding box center. So I'm pressing Alt to make it a smaller step. Look at that. So you can make all these fine little adjustments to make sure that this is, again, go up and down with the arrow. There we go. I just want to make sure that, they're both sort of in the same place. Now, there are certain, let's say, mechanical things. So imagine, so let me mention a few things that may be interesting. So a real bracelet, does it bend on the inside? Does it bend? Does it stretch on the outside? Or does it do both? If you want to be extremely accurate on how this thing bends, you just need to make sure that your cube um, complies to that logic. Okay. Now, again, if this is just for visuals and renders and so forth, no one is going to notice, right? And if someone is going to notice, you need to tell them to get some hobbies because they have too much time in their hands. In any case, so what I want to do now is start adjusting this cube so that it complies a bit better um, to the to the object here. Now, it's not going to be extremely easy. So let me make this, oops, undo, I twitched. So I'm going to make this, and this editable, all right? Now, actually, what I'm going to do here is take the cube straight, and I'm going to make an instance of it. Again, this is stuff I'm not showing in the quick tip. This is advanced stuff. Then I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to get rid of this. All right, so we are deforming the instance. And what I want to do now, I'm going to call this cube curved. And the reason I'm going to do this is I really need to make sure that the topology, other than the curvature, the topology of these two objects is exactly the same. Otherwise, I'm going to, when I undistort it, I'm actually going to destroy this. I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to start sculpting it so that more, let me see if there's a better view, hidden line or something like that. Maybe this works. Let me see if I can colorize the bracelet, add a bit of color here. No, that won't colorize, but I can go constant shading with lines. There we go. Constant shading with lines will give you the colors. I just want to make sure there's no red showing anywhere, right? Now, the great thing is that I can take this and move it out of the way as well. It doesn't matter because it's using that instance. I can hide the spline wrap, and I'm reducing the visual clutter. What I'm going to do now is start sculpting this so that first of all, I'm going to bring it closer to the final object. So let me start bringing the sides in. So let's select all the points, and let's just squeeze these points until they are quite close to the model. Good. That's good enough. Then I'm going to expand it down there. So I'm just making it a bit more compliant. Now, I have to tell you the truth, which is it depending on if you're happy with a result like this, or you are willing to go and fix these things, you don't have to go through all the trouble I'm going through right now. But if you want to learn, let's say the upper limit of the quality you can get with this method, then keep watching, please. Now I'm going to go and start selecting some loops here. I'm going to use and actually I like to pull things out. I'm going to fill selection and use my scale tool, and you can see what I'm doing there. I'm creating a little, a little extra padding for that. There you go. And again, we go slowly. Just try and figure out what's going on. Good. Now over here. Okay, what can I do here? That's on the bottom side. Okay. Now I can't really see what's happening on this side. I want to have a perspective view here, and I want to have a perspective view down here. So you can always go and put 4 views and turn one into perspective, or you can go and add a new view panel, which is going to pop out. Press H, you can navigate in this. I want this to view this side, And let's go and do a constant shading with lines. There we go. And here, I'm going to go underneath and start sculpting. And this allows me to have a little view of what's going on in another part of my scene without having to switch to too many windows. And what can I do here? I'm actually going to use the sculpting brushes. You go to brushes in the mesh menu, and these are the typical sculpting brushes, which you can use for modeling as well. So I can, I think I can do a wax here. Let's see. There you go. Look at that. So you can see, whoop, that's not the best solution. Maybe I need to do a grab or smooth. That's a grab. There we go. I'm going to fix it a bit later. There you go. Look at that. Maybe I need to smooth it a bit. Oh, what's happening here? Okay, we need to check this out. And this would be the other side of this. This would be here. Nope, that's downwards. So it's the other side. Getting my brain to work. This is it. So let's go to the smooth, middle mouse and drag to make it smaller. Let's go here. Boop, 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 boop. Nice. Let me just smooth all that. Good. Let me grab that a bit, middle mouse to make it smaller. Let's go that way. There we go. Good. That's nice. Let's see what's happening on the other side. Bum, 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 bum. Let's go on the other side. There we go. That should be over here. And let's grab, go that way, that way, that way, that way. Good. What else? Ooh, a little bugger. There we go. Fantastic. And I think that's good enough for that side. And now let's go to the other side of this. So go here and we can grab these. That's on the other side, I think. Let me see. Is it on the other side? Or is it on that side? No, it's that side. I'm correct. Good. I can just move these up a bit, move this up a bit, and move this up a bit, and move this up a bit. There we go. Make sure we don't lose anything on the other side. I'm going to go and fix it. And let's make this a bit smaller. Go here. Let's pull it up, pull these forwards. And you can, I mean, to be honest, you can go and select all this and then do a fill selection here and scale it up. There we go. Scale it this way and move it this way a bit. And so on and so forth. I'm going to make this a bit bigger. And well, that's a bit terrible, but it doesn't matter. And that little last bit, which I think should be, if I get the grab somewhere here. And oh yeah, I deselected. I need to deselect everything because I had those selected. Let's grab this and see. Is it? Nope. Is it the other side? There it is. Undo. I'm trying to find where that is. There we go. There we go. It's like trying to do things with a mirror behind your head for fun. Oh, I thought everyone does this. Okay, so there you go. So it's fully covered, I would say. If we need to do any changes, we can do them. You can close this and we're all good to go. Now, having said that, let me just save this. You never know what happens. So I'm going to, give me a second. I'm just on my other screen, saving in today's fitness tracker. And this is going to be the stream. Unfortunately, I cannot share any of these files. I cannot share any of these files because they are proprietary files. They're purchased models from TurboSquid. So I am very, very sorry about that. Okay, let's continue. So I've created the compliant shape. Now it looks a bit odd. Maybe we can smooth out and all that. It won't really make a huge difference for what it's worth. Okay. And if we're going to have any issues, we can go and fix them later on. Okay, so let's assume I'm done with this, right? I'm going to save and close all these. And what I have now is a version of this cube, which is curved. It's got this, and it has all the adjustments that this one has. Okay, and what I need to do is right-click and say current state to object on this. And I can go and hide the other one. I'm using the same thing over there to hide everything I don't need in my little memory null. And what I'm going to do now is start the process of the undeforming. So we have the bracelet, which is behind the curved version. All right. And to the bracelet, I'm going to go and add from the deformers a mesh deformer. There it is. And let's move this down here. The mesh, and move this over here. So the mesh deformer is going to have the curved, and that's going to be the initial state. So the cube curved becomes the mesh that's deforming the bracelet. And the moment we initialize this, it does that thing that the bend deformer cannot do. It stores this state over here. So in theory, if I take this curved mesh now and I stretch it into this, we are going to get a version of the strap which is straight. It's going to work. So I'm just pretending. I'm adding some what is that? Some excitement to the whole thing, some anticipation. So I'm going to go to the cube curved, and the best way to do this is do a morph. So right click, let's go to the rigging tags, add a pose morph, set it to points, and remove this pose. And I'm going to take the cube straight and move it here and say yes, because I want to be able to modify this. Now, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. The mesh deformer by default is ignore. Surface will fix most of these problems. And from this point onwards, you have this thing that moves from this to this. Now, you can't do the animation from one to the other because this is just a linear transformation. But let's go. So let me show you. So I've done this. Now let's remember what we did with a bracelet. I'm going to show you something. It may terrify you, but we're going to fix that in a second. If I go here and say show all, how do you find my new? This is a new fitness watch, which you put it on the table, right? So this looks a bit freaky because we had everything hidden, and of course, the deformer is going to go and deform everything, right? You can see it's going to deform everything. But the solution is very simple. What we're going to do is we're going to go and select the portion that we wanted to deform, right? And that portion, I'm going to go and I'm going to throw away this. It's red. I think it's a bit too bright. The blue, I think models are more bluish. Okay, I think that looks a bit better. It's too dark. Okay, that's a bit better. So let's go to the bracelet. Yeah, it's okay. Let's go and select this loop here. This was the loop we selected earlier. Let's go and do a fill selection. Select all these, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to control click to convert a polygon selection. So I'm going to press Control or Command on the Mac. And let's do this. I've converted them to points. And I want to add a vertex map to these. So just go to the select all the way down and set vertex weight. Default is 100. So all these points now have a value of 1. And the great thing is that the mesh deformer has fields. And I'm going to drag this in here. And you will see that this is correct. Don't worry. Just make sure that this, the mesh deformer, when you go and select the vertex map, make sure it doesn't use the deformed points because it may introduce some weird feedback loop. Now, if you're wondering how we fix this, well, that's easy. This is the position, the final position of the straight points. So select the cube straight because that's what we have morphed this into. Go ahead here. We've morphed it into the cube straight. Select the cube straight points and move the points where you want them to be. Not the object, the points. And all you have to do is just go here and eyeball this so it looks as if it's correct. And if it looks correct, it is correct. Let's hide the straight. Let's save this. Let's hide the mesh. The curved. There you go. And look at that. That extra work paid off. Now, if you want this to be tilted upwards a bit, everything you want to do, all you have to do is just go to the straight points, even if they're not visible, you can still use your transform tools and just move them around until it looks consistent to what you with what you want to do and the references you have and all that stuff. And there you go. This is now a version. And if anyone is wondering, well, okay, what do I do? Well, first of all, you're going to do the same over here, which I'm not going to do now. And make sure you do a current state object. So it takes the object and it gives you a version of the object that has now baked in the deformation. Put it in a new file, press H, and now you can use a bend deformer or any other deformer to deform this. From this point onwards, there's no limit to what you can do with this particular thing. Just make sure if you have close place geometry to deform things, you can use fields and stuff like that. Let's go and add a bend deformer to this. And I'm going to set this to 1, 1, and 1. And again, I want to rotate it. Let's do this, and let's make it. Actually, I'm going to make it thinner and taller, and I'm going to make sure that the rotation it has is such that it allows me. Let's go to the side view. Boop. Rotate. If you're in the side view and you rotate inside this gray circle, it does a trackball rotation, but outside it rotates on the screen space. So press this. You need to make sure that this part is aligned with the base of whatever you want to deform over there. If you apply this here, you can see everything goes weird. So that's why we're going to go and select all these. We can use the same thing we did earlier. We can just say fields, just bend those points and make sure that the bend deformer has the keep length. And that's it. You have now your bend deformer that bends your little thing. Right, you can rotate it. You can do all sorts of interesting things with it just to place it properly. And here's your deformer. So that is how you do, what am I doing here? No, that is how you do this. Okay, let me bring back my face. Okay. Let's go and check out any questions here or anything else we have. Now, there are some questions from the very beginning. Stephen James says, I want to animate a plane growing on, add it to a cloner, then add a cloth. I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to do. What I'd like to suggest is using the links I posted, hook up to one of the Discord servers, or go when I do the housekeeping. I'm going to post where the question form is, and you can post a question there, or you can hit me on social media. I'm on Twitter. This is my thing, X, Twixer, whatever. That is me. So you can ask a question, maybe even post a link or something. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the end. Let's see. Yeah, not so quick tips. Exactly. That is the point. Good. All right. Can everyone post just a number? How many things did you learn today? I'm just curious. See how, it makes me feel good. It's just, I'm not, I don't care. You're enjoying yourselves. I'm enjoying myself. It's a vanity thing, right? Let's pretend now I'm giving you a call to action. Why don't you post how many things you learned today? See, yeah, everyone learns. Hello, Marco. I hope you're well. We haven't spoken for a while. Um, let's have a chat one day. Even if you have no questions, just say hi. Excellent. Now, Dean, I expected this to a spline deformer uh, solution. Yeah, I mean, there's always the spline wrap involved in these kind of things. Exactly. So you were in the right direction. Okay. Question. Ron Morrison, is there a shortcut to select in the timeline all the X positions of animated objects? Of all animated objects? I do not know. Well, let's I don't know. Let's go and find out. So, how do we create a bunch of animations? So, this is um, this. What I'm going to do is called a rabbit hole. Okay. So, let's do something quickly. I'm going to get a cloner. I'm going to get a cube. I'm going to do that because that's what people do with cloners, right? Good. Then, what am I going to do then? I'm going to make it editable. Then I'm going to get I'm going to get a fracture object from here. Let's get a fracture object. Let's put all these in the fracture object. Good. Then, what are we going to do then? Then let's go and apply to the fracture object a random effector. Random effector. Let's set this to turbulence, and now everything has animation. Good. Positional animation. Now, let's see if this is going to work. I'm going to drag all these in here, and I'm going to see. I don't know if it's going to, is it going to bake it? I'm not sure. Maybe bake object. Let's find out it's going to bake anything. Is it going to bake anything? No, it doesn't bake anything because there's nothing here to bake. Oh, rats. See, my experiment, my rabbit hole failed, so I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. So let's just create some animation here. So go coordinates, X, Y, Z, and put this in the beginning. Go here, move it, and do some X, Y, Z. There you go. Good. So we have more than one cubes. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just drag everything, and we have more than one cubes. Right? So let's put this in automatic mode. Everything is there. And you want to select, let me see the question again. You want to add an easy ease curve. Let's find out. Let's go to F curves. Let's select everything. Oh, they've got the same animation. Maybe I should try to do it differently. So let's, there's a little tool here that says animation. And I think what you can do with this is move the animation spline for an object. Don't know if you knew this. So you can just move the animation spline. Can I rotate the animation spline? Ah, magic. Wow, I'm so impressed. There we go. Good. So everything kind of does the same thing, but in different positions, except for that one that rotated. Good. So what I should have here is a bunch of different things. Okay, and you want to select all the X values. Now, of course, what you could do is, let me see, you can go for one object. Okay, let's try this. I'm going to, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try. I'm going to press Control, click here, no. I'm going to press Alt, no. Shift, no. It doesn't do anything there. So no Alts, no Shifts, no nothing. Okay, if I do this, it's going to, what? Why isn't everything disappearing? I want to make everything disappear. Position X, Y, and Z. I have no idea what's going on. I would say no. There's no way to do that for more than one object. What's happening? Why am I seeing? It's because they're selected. Yes, it's because they're selected. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. If you have all these selected, you're going to see them anyway. Maybe if you don't have them, thinking. No, I do not know how this could be done. Now, this is a good question. Let's see if anyone, yeah, the auto mode is here, but to select from uh, all the X positions of all objects, let's right click here. Nope. No, I do not. I do not know how you would go about doing this. Position X, filter. No, no, no. I do not know. If anyone finds out, post it and I'll. What if you say all cubes? All right, let's go to one by one. And this is audience time now. What if you selected all the cubes, selected their position X parameters, and dragged X into the F curves? Okay, let's do this. All right, so let's go to F curve and let's make sure nothing is selected, whatever. You select all the objects, you go to the X and you drag it in. You can't drag it in here. Is that what you wanted me to do? And drag them into, yeah, the X into. So that ain't gonna work. Yep. Nope. Yeah, so that doesn't seem to work unless I didn't do it right. Any other ideas? Come on. Nobody? Nobody? I thought that would work as well. Yeah. But it's good. That's how you learn things. That's how you discover all the shenanigans that you can do in your software by doing these kind of experiments. Maybe there's a way. Maybe there's some sort of combination. We got the position X here. Is there any search here? I don't know these very intricate things that animators know. Huh. Presets, filter. Maybe there's some sort of filter. Anyway, I would not. Let's go through this. Let's see. Functions. No, no, no. Baking. No. Position tracks. No. Yeah, I would have hoped that there was some sort of way where if you select all these and you control click on one, it will make them all disappear, Anyway, unfortunately, I do not have an answer. I do not think, but if you do find something, let me know. Oh, and it's already noon where I am. Okay, so let's do a quick housekeeping exercise and go through the motions. Just want to remind everyone that please, if you haven't subscribed and all that nice stuff, please subscribe. It does make a huge difference on how YouTube promotes our videos. Also, please go and share this information. If you find that the kind of stuff that I show here is interesting, share it with your peers. And what I like also is reach out without this lesson. Today's Ask the Trainer is 100% dedicated to my very good friend Sharon, because I wouldn't have the material to show you these kind of things. Let me just finally, I'm just going to do something. Going to do this just in case I need some sort of thumbnail or something like that. There we go. I'm just going to go look at my screen. Yeah, in case. So let's do a quick housekeeping exercise here. I think let's do this. Let's make this bigger here. There we go. And the link, I'm going to post a link in the comments. Let's paste this here. And this link over here, which I'm going to show on screen as well for anyone that likes typing, will take you to this page, the page you're seeing right now. And this is somewhat of a hub where you can go and go to university, ask your question, and so forth. Now, what I'm trying to do, just to let you know, is I'm trying to see if there's a way to deprecate this particular type of communication. The problem is it's very hard to have an interactive chat through this. It's one way someone asks a question. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If the individual allows me to contact, and I think that is a subject which I'd like to talk about. I email sometimes, but this form style communication, I do not like it. I want us to be able to talk directly. And over the next few shows, I'm gonna give you some more links for some other Discord servers or other places where you can find me, including this university forum as well. So, oh, wait a minute. If you select each axis, go to view, hide unselected elements, it will only show that the selected element. Okay, wait. We need to do this. This is there we go. Okay. Let's follow the instructions. Let's follow deselect everything. Let's follow the instructions. Okay. Each axis. So go to view. When you say each axis, so if I select them all, go to view, hide unselected. But this presumes, oh, I need to go and select X and X. Yeah, I think that was the point of not doing that. Do that automatically. I think the point was to do this automatically so that if we go and apply an easy ease, we can do it directly to all of these. If I'm not mistaken, that was the question to avoid this. Let's see what. Yeah, I think that was the question. Now, I may have misunderstood it. So, Ron, if I was wrong, let me know. Let's continue with the housekeeping. Yeah, if you, I guess, if you unfold everything, if you unfold everything and you go, well, I mean, you can just select these like this, but I think the whole idea was to go and do this without having to go to each and every one of the objects. You can go here now and make them linear or or step or something like that. Okay. Back to housekeeping. Where were we? So I was saying that yes, manually always works. We should never forget that the biggest wonders of human ingenuity were the things that were built by hands, a lot of hands, tens, hundreds of thousands of hands, okay, and with a lot of sweat and a lot of tears. So yeah, you can make wonderful things by selecting the axes one by one. Okay, we are getting more proposals. What if you select X and the button is right next to the asset library button to isolate that parameter? Okay, for everyone, here's your homework. If anyone figures out how to do this, and here's the proposition. Here's the proposition. We have a bunch of objects. Monsieur Ron Morrison, you're going to get people working for you for free. So the idea is we have n number of cubes, and without having to go one by one and selecting these, is there a way to just go to any number of these, select them all, and isolate only the X? Anything here? I right-clicked. Dun, 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 dun. No X, Y, or Z. Rats. Anyway, yeah, we can get stuck on this. That's not a healthy thing. All right, back to housekeeping. So I just want to find ways to improve our communication and to be able to have a more direct. Tech support is one thing. Max on tech support has some amazing people working there and very dedicated to solving every single problem. This is different here. Here we do solve problems, but we solve workflow problems. How to use the tools in the proper way and in more creative ways to do things that were not designed to do. Okay. So what else? Yeah, one of these buttons here, Max on Events, will take you to this page, and you will see what's going on. Check out the announcement if you're into architecture. There was an announcement about a product that works with Vectorworks. And of course, the Max on YouTube training channel, Maxon YouTube training channel. Right. Did you hear what I said? I said Maxon YouTube training channel. Can you believe that? So Maxon Training Team YouTube channel. And yeah, all the coolest people hang out here, all four of them, and others as well. Go check the quick tips. The today's quick tip should be appearing somewhere if it hasn't appeared already. Do you think something happened and it didn't come up? No, there it is. There. Oh, look at this guy wearing the same clothes. I wonder if he recorded this yesterday or today. I'm not sure. So go to the Master Training Team YouTube channel where this video is going to be hosted. Go to the Maxon YouTube channel to check out amazing presentations from all sorts of shows and all that. And if you haven't done so, go and check out the last year's NAB presentations. Great stuff. Yeah, it's especially mine. Just throwing some, what's it called? A shout out for myself. And of course, if you have any artistic inclination, which I do not, please go and download ZBrush or get ZBrush for iPad where you can actually create on your couch. Finally, go to Cineversity, and we've been trying to improve it even more. And if you feel that some tutorial you're looking for doesn't exist, please let me know so I can inform the right people about it. I think we're good. So let me put my face on here. Excellent. Well, again, thank you very much. I had a great time. Again, you are all a fantastic group of people to be around. Don't forget, subscribe, do all the notification. Is notifications a thing? I don't even know. And watch stuff, share stuff. If there are places you hang out, please let me know. I would like to be part of those communities. And you have to work with each other in these kind of things. The more people you can expose the question, the more replies you're going to get. And yeah, I'm going to find the closing button. There's a QR code in the end, which you can take a snapshot of. I have no idea where it takes you, so prepare to be surprised. Take care, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.